哦，挺好。
What's this? This is just bags of seats drop-ins. Get rid of it. What sort of treasure ship is this?
Chocolate and cocoa arrived in England under Cromwell, but didn't gain popularity until the restoration of King Charles II, when he became popular on the court and with the wealth. Samuel Pepys, before he died, brought the
안에
I borrowed some money from my father to go into business as a tea dealer and coffee roaster. I took over this shop and installed this large plate glass window so that my customers could see the samples of tea, coffee and cocoa nibs that I prepared myself. My colourful window displays soon attracted new customers from far and wide. I even employed a fully costumed Chinese man to help serve in the shop. Oh yes, he caused a lot of interest. And with him minding the shop, I started to experiment manufacturing my own cocoa and chocolate in the cellar behind the shop. You see, I noticed that fashionable people were drinking cocoa and chocolate. I decided to offer them to my customers as well. This was good for my business because tea, coffee, cocoa and chocolate were considered as acceptable alternatives to alcohol, of which we, as Quakers, strongly disapproved. Let me tell you some more about how my business grew and prospered from these very humble beginnings.
Hey, you guys are just in these stores?
I prepared myself chocolate and coffee beans. These drinks were considered as wholesome alternatives to alcohol, which we as Quakers strongly disapproved. In my spare time, I experimented with preparations of cocoa beans and chocolate, which I could sell in the shop. Soon I had to rent a warehouse in nearby Crooked Lane, where I could manufacture these products on a larger scale. At first, it was very difficult, because I had to pay high taxes on the cocoa beans. And then, on top of all that, I had to move out of Crooked Lane and into another factory, here in Bridge Street. That's when my brother Benjamin joined me, and together we formed Cadbury Brothers. With more space, we could now prepare a cocoa powder and an eating chocolate that could be packed and sold. Soon after, my eldest son, Richard, joined the company. Having Richard with us made all the difference. He saw to it that the quality of our cocoa improved, introduced new products, and even opened a shop in London. Our efforts were rewarded when we received our first royal warrant from Queen Victoria. That was when my younger son, George, joined us.
George introduced many benefits for the workforce, such as half-day holidays, a sick club, and many improvements in the factory.
And Richard, your new designs for our packaging were a huge success.
Well, we had to try something different, just to get ourselves recognized, Father, as we were still a small company. Our aim was to manufacture only the highest quality cocoa and chocolate.
I know, and I could tell you some stories of less scrupulous producers who added brick dust to their cocoa.
Ours was still gritty, but we only added sugar to take away the bitter taste and starch to absorb the fat. However, George had heard of a new kind of cocoa press. He went to Holland in 1866, saw the press being used and brought one back.
The Van Houten Press.
Oh yes, Father. You see, because we could extract more of the cocoa butter, there was no need for more additives. Not only was our cocoa essence more palatable, but also output increased.
The Bridge Street factory was now too small to cope, and we had to expand somewhere else.
For some time, George and I had shared the same vision to build our new factory in a garden setting, away from the smoke and grime of the city. We called our new factory Bourneville. We opened our new factory in 1879, and were faced with many more challenges as the size of our workforce increased. As the company prospered, we introduced bonuses, such as payment for output and punctuality, a 5.5-day week, pension schemes, works committees, training, and many other benefits.
I sent my son George to Switzerland to find out how chocolate was made, using fresh milk.
Soon after, Cadbury were able to manufacture chocolate with a much higher milk content that rivaled even the best Swiss products.
That was when we launched our most important new brand. We called it Cadbury's Dairy Milk. It became so popular with its distinctive taste that sales exceeded all our best expectations. And within a short while, it had become our best-selling chocolate. In 1919, we merged with Fry, and the company went from strength to strength.
And so we have seen that big things have their roots in the smallest beginnings.
Okay guys, thank you for watching. If you'd like to make
where you can see a farmer and his team planting our young cocoa trees. Hello there! Once each pod has been plucked, it's cut open, so that all of the beans and sticky pulp can be scooped out to be fermented in a heap and then dried in the hot sun until they've turned a rich brown colour. Once the beans are dried, they are tested for their quality before being loaded onto a cargo ship to be transported to England. They are then taken to our factory in Chirk for processing. Now, first the beans must be sorted and physically cleaned to remove any stones, dust and string that have come across with the beans from Africa. This is done using a stream of air and by passing the beans over vibrating sieves. The raw cocoa beans are now pasteurized using very hot steam. Clean cocoa beans are now taken to be roasted in revolving tubular gas-fired ovens. The beans are then cooled and are ready to have their shells removed through a process called winnowing. This is done by passing the cocoa beans over a series of vibrating frames and hitting them with breaker arms. The shell is then blown away and the remaining pieces of bean are called nibs. The nibs are now ground up in large mills. This process generates heat, which helps to transform the nibs into a thick chocolate-coloured liquid called cocoa liquor or mass. Some cocoa liquor is taken to our factory at Marlborough for further processing. The rest of the liquor is pressed to extract the cocoa butter. The refined cocoa butter is now taken to Bourneville, where we will catch up with it later. Meanwhile, the cocoa liquor that has been taken to Marlborough is pumped into storage tanks, ready to be turned into chocolate crumbs. Over 150 tons of sugar and 500,000 litres of fresh whole cream milk are delivered to Marlborough every day to be used in this process. But first, the milk must be pasteurised and then evaporated to remove most of the water before sugar can be added to produce a sweetened condensed milk. The liquid milk and sugar solution is now heated again before the cocoa liquor from chirk is added and thoroughly mixed to create a thick paste. The paste is then squeezed between steam-heated rollers under a huge vacuum, causing the paste to turn into a powder. The resulting crumb is scraped from the rollers, dried in a flow of hot air, and blown into storage silos. The crumb is now taken to Bourneville in tankers, where it is ground and mixed into a paste with this, the cocoa butter, which came from chirk earlier. The paste is then refined into a flake before being conched or mixed to form a liquid chocolate. This liquid chocolate is used to make all our famous milk chocolate products.
Into special receptacles, which on the next pass have the second half of the egg placed on top. The whole eggs now make their way to the foil wrapping machine. The egg is then fed into the wrapping machine, where it is carefully held steady, while the foil is first placed over the top before the lower seam is formed. The end sections are then folded to produce the seal.
I'm going to tell you and show you how they used to make their tiny chocolates here over 120 years ago. The sort of chocolates I'm talking about are the novelty chocolates that you'll find in your milk tray and your boxes of roses. Now, back then this type of work was done by the ladies, and they were nicknamed the Cadbury Angels. So, here's our lovely chocolate. It's at about 40 degrees, and we need to cool it to 27, because if we put warm chocolate into a mould, it will seize in there. In other words, it won't come out, not in one piece. So we're just going to keep spreading our chocolate out and moving it around. Now, you notice we're working on marble. Marble's ideal for chocolate making because it does help to cool it down quicker. It conducts heat. So there we are. In the have-a-go zone, you will be able to have a go at tempering, and the have-a-go zone is right at the bottom. There we are. A little bit more. It will start to drag as it cools down. Right then, let's have a try. So what we do, we use that, well, the ladies would have used their fingers. There you are. And because chocolate was super expensive then, they would actually lick their fingers as well, and they were allowed to. They wasn't stopped to do it. So, here's my mould. We use polycarbonate moulds. The ladies would have used metal. So, here's my lovely chocolate. You can see it's shiny, it's sticky, but because we've tempered it, we've added air into the mixture, which means our chocolate will be full of holes. We don't want that. So what we're going to do, we're going to give it a little tap and shake. And already you can see tiny, tiny bubbles on the surface, and that is where we want them to be. Okay. Right then. So if we were making solid chocolates, this demonstration would be over. But I'm going to show you a process called shelling. Shelling means I'm going to remove my chocolate and replace it with a freezer. So what we do is we give it a tap, and we give it a shake, and we make it rain chocolate. So who likes chocolate rain? Yes? I think we all do, don't we? I think we all do. There we are. So we just keep doing it. Again, this is all done by machinery now, but there you have your shell of chocolate. That is where the filling is going to go when it's set a little bit. leave that there. You see, I am known for being the messy chocolate baker. There we are. Now, we only did that a few moments ago. So, it's at this point the ladies would get their piping bags and they would hand pipe all their fillings into each little shell. I can't do this because I will use my chocolates, so I can't mix the ingredients together. So imagine that full of strawberry. The ladies would seal that strawberry in with a thin layer of chocolate over the top, like so. And there you have your finished chocolates. Tidy the mould up a little bit. And there you are. Now, we had a fridge. They would have had cupboards with tiny holes in for ventilation, and also cool rooms would be dotted throughout the factory as well. So let's have a look. We should have somebody. Oh, that's not quite ready yet. Oh, that one is. And there you have your finished chocolates, all made by hand. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a fabulous day, and it's been lovely to meet you all. Enjoy, thank you.
That's why we did, weren't it? Well, people wait months to get reservations for the weekend.
Have you got space yet? So we'll have you go with the lady, and then are you going to you can go with the gentleman, yeah? So we'll take you first.
Must be accompanied by an adult. Please do not use flash photography.
So you're going to go first.
Secret Cadbury adventure.
And then if you guys just wait here, we'll see you
As a team. And good luck in finding those ingredients.
So at the moment, you guys will head out onto the track. These are Cadbury collectors, using them to collect ingredients for the product. And at the end you do get a chocolate bar. I'm afraid to say, unfortunately, that aim was filmed.
If you got kids, yeah. Mum, when we used to buy ourselves